this is the next part, one of the last parts that we need to make before we go on to our assemblies, and it is the door. Now, however, I've deliberately missed out a few dimensions on it because you're meant to sort of customise it a wee bit. So I don't necessarily want everyone having the exact same door. The important thing about it is the process that we're undergoing. So we're extruding, but we're extruding with a taper, and we're doing the same, we're cutting with a taper, and that is sort of the new skills that we're learning in this part. So you can see not only are the edges going cutting straight down, but there's a slight wee angle to them, and the same for the extrudes coming up. Again, it looks quite impressive, but it's not too difficult. If you keep along with me, you'll be fine. So, file, new part. And you just need to start with a square or a rectangle, and we're going to do it on the front plane. So just draw, doesn't really matter what size, and then we're going to smart dimension it to be 177 millimeters tall and 75 millimeters wide. Then features, extrude boss base, and you're going to extrude this by 6. That's sort of like our canvas that we're going to work on. Again, nothing too difficult here, just sketch, and we're going to draw on the front plane. If you want to use some circles, if you want to use some arcs, you can. That's completely up to you. But what I would recommend doing regardless is a center line right down the middle of your door. That allows you then to mirror things that you've done on the other side. I'm just going to go through a door design that I would like. So again, I'm going to draw another center line here to form a bit of a boundary. And I'm going to draw a couple of squares out. Once you've them drawn, you can move them up and down to suit. Pull them a bit wider, pull them a bit shorter. But I'm going to go for something a little bit like that. So if you're wanting these 3 lines to all be lining up, if you hold Control, click on the 3 of them, and you choose collinear, that will mean that the 3 of them lines will all move together. So it means that they have to line up then. So get the 3 squares that I would like to have on my door. Then I'm going to use the mirror entities. Entities to mirrors is going to be our 3 squares. Mirror about, going to be on that center line. Nice and easy so far. Then we're going to go into our features, our extrude cut, and we are going to extrude cut these by 2 millimeters. So in this box you're going to type in 2. Now this is where it starts to get a wee bit complicated. This is where we add our taper. So you need to click on this draft on or off button here. Click it, and I think you can play about with this a wee bit, but 25 to 30 is a good place to start. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go back into our sketch mode, and you're going to click on any of these little inner surfaces. So I'm going to use that one. And offset entities, you're going to offset these by 2 or 3 mil, just depends. You might need to reverse it, but you're going to go through each of them individually. That offset entities is going to do is give you an exact smaller copy of the shape on the inside. Now you could mirror these, but sometimes it's just quicker to do it manually, especially when you have something a wee bit like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do an extrude. So features, extrude boss base, and you're going to extrude them by 2, and you're going to click this draft on again, and I'm just going to go up to 30 just because I think it looks nicer having the sharper edge on the extrude. So we need to do the same on the back, but there's a couple of tricks maybe that can speed you up. So you're going to scroll down to the back. You can use the arrow keys or the mouse wheel to do that. You're going to click on the back, sketch, sketch again, and now that means this, you can draw all over this back of this door all you want. If we scroll down to the front and you click this button here, convert entities, and you click the front face, not in the little bits but in the main of the door, in the main part of the door. Select all inner loops, green tick, and we flip round. You can see that it has made an exact copy of the original squares on the back. So that's what converting entities does. It sort of takes a drawing or takes a surface and copies it onto another surface. So just like before, we are going to extrude cut. You're going to extrude cut by 2. You're going to put your angle of 25 on. Enter. There we go. Now what you can do now is, if you wanted to, you can go back into sketch and you can do your offset entities by 2 or 3. Reverse it. You can do it that way. Or you can use the convert entities again. So convert entities, and if you click the little space between the squares and select all inner, you can see that we have now got an exact copy of the inner squares. Features, extrude boss base, select contours, just the inner parts, extrude by 2, put your draft of 30 on. There we go, we've got our door made. Again, you can do this with whatever shapes you want. If you wanted to use semicircles, or you wanted to use bigger squares, smaller squares, you don't even need to mirror it. You could have just 2 or 3 big squares or wee squares if you wanted to. But the important thing is that you get these, what we call tapers or drafts, on your cuts and extrudes. And then finally, whenever you're happy with your work, save, and make sure it's going into the right folder. Work, get videos, and we're going to call this the door. And that is it.